Epic Showdown, the AMD RX 9070 XT versus the competition. Buckle up, enthusiast. This is electrifying video. We'll break down all AMD's latest press briefings and the thrilling launch of the 9070 XT. While the RTX 5070 Ti is MIA in NVIDIA's AMD's lab, duh. We get the lowdown on comparative benchmarks, leaks, and performance charts. We'll dive right into it and see what the 9070 XT, our game changer, and gear up for AMD's keynote on February the 28th of this month. So don't miss out for this pulse pounding video. So stick around and here we go. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. You know, it's JJ on JJ's PC Builds. You know, one of these days I'm going to have to learn to say JJPB and shorten it up a little bit. So that way you guys can say, okay, well, we know it's JJ's PC Builds, JJPB. But anyway, if this is your first time here, subscribe and hit the like button. If you don't, what happens is YouTube won't put us out there and we won't grow. We need to grow, we need to grow, and we need to grow. So make sure you turn your notifications on. If you do subscribe, it would be much appreciated. Today, we're going to dive right into the 9070 XT. So let's go to the action screen and see what's cooking. Alright, we made a recent stop to videocards.com. We've seen this cooking up on the menu. This says right here, I'll read off to you what it says. Like we told you earlier this week, AMD was planning a press briefing for the media in the coming weeks. Let's say in about 5 days. It says that Video Cards was not invited, but they sent out their agents to gather intel. The mission was a success. Before you look at the figures, AMD actually confirmed they do not have a 5070 Ti in their labs, and in the process of obtaining one for their internal test. Hence, it was not including it in the comparisons. I wonder why. Perhaps they will do some further testing on February 28th, perhaps naming the card after the competition wasn't enough of reason to include the series. AMD did, however, confirm that the 9070 series should be competitive against the RTX 4070 and the 4080 series. And they should be also competitive against the RTX 50 series without going into details. So that's going to be really interesting, but we're just going to dive right into what they got cooking right here. So, but they said this percentage shows both raster and ray tracing games. So you will see higher gains if RT games are included in sometimes lower in rasterization only games. But officially, the RX 9070 XT is much faster than the RX 7900 GRE, to the point where one might wonder why this card is even used in the comparison. This RDNA card does have 16 gigabytes of VRAM, as same as the 9070 series, so maybe the primary reason perhaps has something to do with the price. Could be because, it was running here in the U.S. at about $550. So, however, since both the 9070 XT and the 9070 are compared, we have a better look at the whole situation. Now, the thing is this, guys. The thing is this. If they're comparing the 9070 XT to the 7900 GRE at $550, this brings curiosity. As a leak, is just right now it's as a leak, so it brings curiosity to my mind, that why would they be mentioning the 7900 GRE when it was pronounced and sold for the longest period of time on the U.S. market at $550? Are they trying to tell us, hey, the 9070 XT might be $550? That puts a big question mark on things. So, could it be true? Could it be that they're going to do $599 for the 9070 XT and they're going to do $499 or $479 for the 9070? Could be. So this could come out to be a $600 card. If AMD does that, that's a total game changer. Even though that it's going to be $50 more than the 5070, the RTX 5070, and it gets better performance up to the RTX 5080 for $600, it's well worth the price to performance at that point. Even though, I'm all about the hardware. I'm not all about AMD and NVIDIA because I'm impartial to all companies. When I hear this stuff come out, I talk to you guys about it and I tell you what I feel about it. But I don't have a favorite. I'm not a fanboy of any of them. I'm just impartial. And that's the way I like to keep it. Stay impartial. So if I like the hardware, that's what I'm going to use. But from what I'm seeing on the leaks and everything else, it brings into question, is AMD going to take and make the 9070 XT a $600 card? With having the performance reaching up to a 5080, which that's reaching up past the performance of a 7900 XTX. That's their high end, the 7900 XTX, on the market right now. But if they're going to sell it for $600 for the 9070 XT, that's a big game changer, guys. I mean, with RDNA 4, but we'll see. We're going to look at the benchmarks, and we're going to go from that, which I blew them up. And make sure y'all check out videocards.com and give them a thumbs up and tell them thank you for all the stuff that they do to make this possible. So, and also too, I'll make sure I leave a link in the description below on where I got this information. So, back to the action screen. Alrighty. Since I got a big head in the way, I'll move my big head a little bit. We'll crunch it down there a little bit. There we go. Okay, big cursor time. AMD's RDNA for official performance. Radeon RX 9070 XT versus the 7900 GRE. At 1440p, the average is 38% faster. The 9070 is 38% faster in 30 games. That's what they're saying. So going down here on the 7900 GRE at 4K is 42% faster in average at 30 games. Coming over here to the 6900 XT, looks like at 4K it's 51% faster in 30 games. The 7900 GRE, that looks like they did it twice. Am I missing something? 7900 GRE, 7900 GRE, 1440p, 1440p. I think they did this twice. Oh, that's alt. Well, no, that's ultra settings. That's ultra settings. Huh. Interesting. How they would put 20 and 38% here. I don't know. You guys leave your comment on this one. I mean, I must be missing something. It must be a different kind of setting they're using to get this kind of 20% average. And they did the same thing here with the ultra settings, and they did 21 and 42 and 4K. I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what they did. I see what they did. They should have put a line here and said, this is for rasterization. They should have put that for rasterization. And down here, they should have put it for ray tracing. So I see what they did. They split it up. So I would imagine this is for rasterization and this is for ray tracing. Okay, so for rasterization, here's the numbers. We already went through it. Now for ray tracing, if I'm wrong, you guys can comment down below and let me know if I did it wrong. But I would imagine for ray tracing at ultra settings is 20%, 30 games. For 1440p, for 4K, the 7900 GRE, 21% in 30 games. And the 6800 XT, max settings, they got it for RT, 38%. So, if I did that wrong, let me know, and we'll go from there. But we're going to come over here to this relative page where they got rasterization and they got ray tracing. So this looks like they got it broke down for a little confusing though, but oh, they got it marked RT. Very good. That helps us out a lot. So, oh, that's the 9070 XT. Okay, guys, I just wanted to make sure I'm clarifying this right. So, this is for the 9070 right here, and this is for the 9070 XT right here. Both with the 7900 GRE. Now, this line here breaks your rasterization, and this is for your ray tracing. So that way it's all clarified. So, I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. Well, let me try something here. Let's say 104 plus 109 plus 111 plus 118. You guys ain't gonna believe what I'm doing. 118 plus 121 plus 115 plus 118 plus 126 plus, what did I say, 126, 123, 23 plus 122 equals 12,085. So we go back through this. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. And divide that by 11. So that gives us at 1440p total aspect of the game. Just right here. Overall games, 11 games, gives us 16% on an average of performance, more performance. 16%. By their chart right here, just given 16%. So, now we can mark that as 16%. Okay. So, I know you guys can do this too, but I turn around, so you get 16% more performance with the 9070 versus the 7900 GRE. 16%. That sounds a little bit more reasonable to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the 105 plus 108 plus 111 plus 118 plus 117 plus 128 plus, okay, 126, 122, 125, 124, 120. Divide that by 11. Okay. So, said 16 here, this is 18. So you got a 2% performance jump from 1440p to 4K. 2%. I know I'm probably doing this wrong, guys, but in my mind, this is what I'm seeing right now. Okay, so between 1440p and 4K is only like a 2% jump at rasterization. Let's finish these two out and then we'll go over here to the 9070 XT. So I'm really thinking these numbers that they're doing right here, they're not totally matching. So let's do the 1440p. Let's do 112, 126, 115, 122, 125, 128, 132, 133, 138, and divide that by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we're dividing that by 9. So with ray tracing, they're saying they got a 25% bump. From the 7900 GRE, they got a 25% bump. We're gonna keep track of this. So we're gonna keep track of this. And how we're gonna do that is we're gonna take and say 9070 1440p. We're going to say 16%, and put 4K. 4K. We're going to put 18%. Okay. So now, that's just raster, right? So we go up to the top, we hit enter, and we'll put raster. Okay, so now we'll come down here and put RT. We'll put RT right here, and then we'll put 1440p. 1440p at 25%. And then we'll do the 4K right now. So, we'll keep that in mind. We'll clear this out. And now we'll do the 4K. So, 111, 125, 122, 123, 128, 130, 133, 134 equals, divided by 9 equals 126. So, something don't sound right, does it? 26%. So it looks like on the ray tracing, going from 1440p to 4K, there's only a 1% difference. So we can say 1% difference. We can say 2% difference. So, this way, now we know on the 9070, right here, 9070, we can hit enter. Fix that up a little bit. Now we can say here. So put 1%. So we can say we got 2% difference and a 1% difference. That's just going from 1440p to 4K. Now, we can take and start a new line down here. Start it with the 9070 XT. And we'll put raster. 1440p. Okay, now what we're doing is we're going to build the next one. And we'll clear this out. So now we'll go into the next one. It's a lengthy process, I know. So we got it right there. So we got 123, 123, 130, 130, better fix that up. 123. 123. 130. 130. 132. 132. 132. So you're right here now. 133. We go 138. 138. 143. 144. Equals. Divide that by 11. Over 11 games. Gives us a 33% jump. So now we got a 33%. I'm just rounding it up. I'm just rounding it up. So 1440p, we got 33% more on the 9070 XT compared to the 7900 GRE. So now we'll go 4K. I know you guys are probably thinking, no, this is not the way you do math. Well, I know it's not the way you do the math. I'm just doing it simple. I'm just doing it simple. That's all. Nothing else. Just simple. So, 123, 128, 133. I was never great in math anyway. 133, 134, 143, 148, 140, 141, 146, 146, 142 equals. Divide that by 11 equals 37%. Now it's starting to make more sense. 37%. To me, now it's making more sense. We'll move that up a little bit. So the difference is 5% between 1440p and 4K. So you got a 5% difference. Now we'll go, now we go RT. We'll do the RT at 1440p. Okay. And we'll do the 4K. And then we'll go through this and we'll talk about it at the end so we can get through this really fast. So we go 1, 3, 4. 137, 139, 144, 145, 157, 159, 164, 168. Divide that by 9. Wow. Ray tracing gives 49% faster. They come up with 38. I come up with 49. I'll say 50. I'll say 50 right there. I'll say 50%. Anything that's 5 or above, I'll go up to the next whole number. So we'll give it 50%. So we go 4K now. And we'll clean this out. So we got 136, 146, we got 148, 148, 152, 159, 156, 166, 166. Divide that by 9. What gives you 53%. So now we come over here, we'll put 53%. Hit enter, enter, with the difference of 3%. 3% difference. Okay. So, now we got all that downtown. Now we can minimize everything. Minimize that, minimize that. Okay, so now we'll pull this down and we can start our way. So what I'll do is I'll do this. $9070 series versus 7900 GRE. Okay. So we can follow that down. So looking at it at 1440p gives you a 16% difference right there. But what happens is if you go and you look up the 7900 GRE specs, right? And you go to Tech Power Up. So, and we go down to the relative chart. So we see 16%. That's 15 right there. So it puts it in between the 4070 Ti Super and the 7900 XTX at rasterization 1440p. Now 4K, it puts it right there at the same level for the 9070. So you're looking at between right here, the 4070 Ti Super. So we're looking at between the 4070 Ti Super, 4070 Ti Super, and the 7900 XT. That's what you're looking at it. So now we go down to the ray tracing. This isn't set for ray tracing, guys. So this is set for rasterization right here. This is just for rasterization. So anyway, you can take this with a grain of salt or like gold. You could either do or. I'm just taking some math up with you guys. But even if the ray tracing was on that relevant chart, between 25 and 26% would put it right here. Between a 3090 Ti and a 4080. So you can look at it that way. Puts it between a 3090 Ti and a 4080. That sounds about like what the numbers they're coming up with anyway. That sounds like the numbers they're coming up with it anyway. So that's where that lands. So now the 9070 XT, where does it land in rasterization? Compared. Say max is 33. Puts it right here between a 3090 Ti and a 4080. Oh my God. No way. Between a 3090 Ti, 3090 Ti, and a 4080. That's where it puts it. That's for 33%. Now for 37%, here. Let me cut this. Let me put this down here where it belongs. That's where that puts that. Okay. Okay. Now at 4K, where does it put it? 37%. 37% puts it right here, even with the 7900 XTX. Right here, even with the 7900 XTX and the 4080 Super. So if I'm reading this right, yep, 7900 XTX and the 4080 Super. Okay, so now we know where that lands. Let's say with rasterization, for ray tracing, just to be on an average, I would say a 4090 and a 5080. So 4090 and a 5080 for both. Put same. And we'll cut this and paste this. We'll fix it up a little bit more. There we go. We'll put same. So we'll say the same for this. Fix it up a little bit. Okay. Now, going by their charts, put this way, going by their charts, going to the top, the 7900 GRE and the 9070, looks like that the rasterization comes down to this. Let me move this over and get my face bigger. Okay, there. Now you guys can see me. So, looking at this is telling me at 1440p with the 9070, it's only 16% faster than the 7900 GRE, but it's equal to the 4070 Ti Super and the 7900 XT in between the two, especially with 4K and 1440p. 2% difference between the two, between 1440p and 4K. Now, ray tracing, it looks like that at 1440p at 25%, it's equal to the 3090 Ti and the 4080. Same with the 4K. But there's only a 1% difference between 1440p and 4K. I don't know how true or false. This is a total average. This is a total average between 9 and 11 games. 11 games for rasterization and 9 games for ray tracing. So a total of 19 games, but I broke it all apart. So, 9070 XT versus the 7900 GRE. 1440p come up 33% faster with the 9070 XT. 30 equal to the 3090 Ti and a 4080. At 4K, it's 37% faster, which give a 5% difference between 1440p and 4K. Which the 4K is equal to a 7900 XTX and a 4080 Super in between the two. So, that's for the 9070 XT. Ray tracing, that's for rasterization. This is for ray tracing. Now, 1440p, I come up with 50%, and it's in between the 4090 and the 5080 for the 7900 XT. 4K, 53%, it's the same. 3% difference between 1440p and 4K. Now, I could be wrong about this. If I'm right, and they put, let's say they put right here the price point that they put the dollar sign to it, and they put, let's say they put $479, right? They put $479 here. And then down here, they put $600. Let's say. So, by putting $600 here, making this right here a very viable card at $600. Now, if they do it at $550, it's even more. Well over what the 7900 GRE is. So, alright. I give you guys a preliminary of what my thought is right now on this before the launch date or the presentation. My thought is this. And I want you guys to hear me out on this. I know my math is not going to be totally right, okay? But in my mind, I'm getting the average of what I feel is going to be right. I could be right, I could be wrong. I know I'm going to be corrected in the description down below. I know you guys are going to correct me on this, so I don't mind. I'll take the heat for it. But from what I'm seeing on the 9070 and the 9070 XT, if this comes out to be true, they're going to be a monster. And if the price is right, it's definitely going to be AMD's going to take the crown. In the mid-range, they're going to take the crown. Maybe a little bit of the high end, they're going to take the crown. Because they're comparing it against the 7900 XTX. That's their flagship. That's their top-level flagship. So, all in all, got an itch, sorry. All in all, the way it's looking so far, it's looking good. I mean, all depends on the price. Now, if they decide to put this price point up around $950 to $1,000, ooh, that's not going to be so good. That's going to be putting them in the same boat as Nvidia, because I don't see paying $1,000 for this card. I really don't. The most I would ever see it being is $699. To be fair to the consumer, the gamers, and everybody above. Excuse me. I don't foresee it being a $700 card. I do not. $550 is going to be the point where everybody's going to be. They're going to be like, $550 for that 9070 XT is going to be sweet. It will meet the price to performance, most definitely. Anything more than, like I said, the max of $700, I wouldn't even buy it. That's just me. I wouldn't even touch it. $550, oh, I would touch it. Oh, yeah. If it got this kind of performance, yeah, I would touch it, believe it or not. But anyway, guys, that's my 2 cents today for the Big Bash. Coming up soon, February 28th at 5 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Eastern Standard Time, 8 o'clock. So make sure you're here. We're going to try to get a live video on the presentation if we can. If we can't, then I'll let you all know. But I'm hoping we can, so stick around for that. And also, too, I want to thank you all for coming out and watching my videos. You all are the best. You all are helping the channel out, and we need more subscribers. We do. So if you can, just hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also, too, turn on your notifications so you know when we post the next video. Until the next time, and the next video. You know it is, and we'll see you on the next one.